in a town like Brighton between 11 and 16 no longer wish to identify as male or female, I think this is a complete and utter nonsense, and worse, a dangerous nonsense. Persuade me I'm wrong.
Okay, so if we look at how Brighton is as an area, it's got an extremely high LGBT population, it's extremely liberal. So when kids are in a school and they feel, oh, there's no stigma attached to being gender fluid or trans. So if they feel supported in an environment, then they're going to be questioning.
Why should they be encouraged to do this when it's clearly,
because
for
there's
many
nothing
of
wrong
them,
with being questioning about.
Nobody's going to persuade me that 76 kids at one school in Brighton woke up one day and decided to be
Well, who said that
gender
they woke
fluid?
up one day? Who says that it's not something that happens overnight? It's something.
But where does this end? Do we end up with literally nobody in the future identifying as male and female?
Well,
What does that do?
maybe.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why would you be happy with
not
that?
nobody, but some people are trans, and that's the fact.
You genuinely think 76 kids in one school are transgender?
I'm saying that it's a
Or
possibility.
do you think it's possible? Is it possible
I'm saying
they've all
it's a
just
possibility.
they've all just latched on to a fad that is getting more and more attention, and they are basically having their minds turned to
I don't
gender
think that
fluidity?
that's the case at all. I think that what we're seeing is children expressing or experimenting with their gender, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's a different thing. Expressing is different to experimenting.
If you look at what the headmaster said, not all of the kids are out and trans. Some of the kids are just experimenting or exploring their
But
gender.
isn't it dangerous, this, Monroe? Even though, I completely support the ethos of genuine transgenderism, right? I support it. If people genuinely feel...
But you don't, Piers, because you bring
I don't believe
gender-neutral
76
people and
kids...
non-binary people onto your show constantly and berate them.
Well, no, I bring them on when I bring them on and I challenge them.
Very consistently.
I challenge them about gender fluidity. That's where I have an
That's
issue.
still under the trans bracket.
Well, maybe, but I think...
No, not maybe, absolutely.
Gender fluidity to me is, I think it's a farce, personally, right? I think
That's your own bigoted opinion.
I don't think it's bigoted.
It is absolutely
I don't think it's bigoted. But, people who decide one day they're male, next day they're female, next day back to male, I think it's ridiculous.
That's because you're a cis straight man.
Maybe, or maybe I'm right. And it's
Maybe
ridiculous.
you're not.
Well,
have you thought about
what
that?
makes you, with your own self-righteousness, think you're right all the time about this
Not
stuff?
self-righteous. I'm standing up for people.
I have
that
warned
deserve
for
to be
ages that
standing
I
up
think
for.
this is the way things are going to go. And here we have 76
Well, what are you so
kids in one
scared
school.
of? What are you so scared of if this is
I'm
the way
scared
that it's going?
that the common
What is
societal
so bad
norm...
about being gender
These kids are 11 to 16. I've had 4 kids, right? 3 have gone through that age group, through puberty. They change wildly.
And what would you do if you had a gender-neutral child or a gender non-conforming, non-binary
I'd say,
child?
I would say to them, what does this mean? What do you mean gender fluid? What do you mean by that?
Would you support them?
But more importantly...
Would you support them?
I would not encourage it.
Would you support them, though?
No, but if they carried on over years saying to me, I was born in the wrong sex...
That's probably what's happening. They're not just...
It's not what's happening.
No, you don't know that, though.
Can I come in here and say we're not talking about gender... all of these fall under the trans umbrella now. Gender non-conforming, gender fluid, non-binary. They're all gender identities. Everybody's under the transgender umbrella, actually, because I don't conform to sex stereotypes. I've got a logical brain. That's male, isn't it? I am gender fluid.
A logical brain is not
a logical
male.
brain is a male thing. Well, according to gender stereotypes, it is.
Much past
what
that.
we are talking about is not supporting children in gender non-conformity. We are changing that gender non-conformity to conform to sex stereotypes of the opposite sex.
My problem is as I see it, as a creeping war on the words man and woman, male and female. Let me give an example. University students at Goldsmiths, University of London and King's College London have stopped using the word woman because it's deemed offensive, because it includes the word man. At Goldsmith, the Students' Union ceased to use the words women and woman, since woman, W-O-M-X-N, is now deemed more inclusive of students.
That's not using the word woman. That's
now
just
been deemed more inclusive
changing it and
also.
making it inclusive.
So we are abandoning these...
We're not abandoning the word woman at all.
The Students' Union has stopped using the word woman.
Well, that's up to them.
Fine. And it's up to me to say, what are you doing? Why are you banning the word woman because it has the word man in it?
Banning the
because
word
you don't want to
woman
upset,
at
as
all.
they say, a few transgender students.
Can we just
what
get
about
back
the
to
vast majority of
subject
students who are not transgender?
Can we just get back to the subject of
no,
children
hang
in
on, excuse me.
schools?
With respect, I'm asking about this to Monroe, because you're a leading light in this. You're very eloquent. I think a lot of what you say I agree with. But on these points like this, I think this is
The point of the word
nuts.
woman is to include everybody. And putting
What is wrong with the word woman?
Because a lot of feminism isn't geared, as your feminism isn't, to include trans people. So it's
you don't think we should ever use the word woman again?
I did not say that.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying that if we're speaking about inclusivity, if we're speaking about matters of gender diversity, then we should use a terminology that everybody
So we
feels
shouldn't use
comfortable
woman?
with. Didn't say that we shouldn't use
Students'
women.
Union. Well, do you agree with Goldsmith? The Students' Union has ceased to use the words women and woman because they want to use WOMXN.
I think that
do you
it's
agree
an inclusive way. Yes, why not?
So you want to abandon the use of the word woman?
Didn't say that either.
But that's what they've done.
No, they haven't.
They have.
They're just changing the spellings to show that they're inclusive of the trans
They have stopped
narrative.
using the word woman because it includes the word man.
The word woman is still woman. With an X, it's just the O.
Why are you changing it?
It's just to show an inclusive nature when speaking about.
But it means you can't.
issues.
It means that they are banning the traditional.
We could go around and around with this. We can.
But
move
they're banning. They said it themselves. They got rid of the word woman because it has man in it. This is nuts.
It's not getting rid of the word woman.
It is. They got rid of it.
An intersectional approach to.
You can
feminism.
use all the long words you like at me, right? The bottom line is they have stopped using the words women and woman in publications. They don't use it anymore. They have banned it.
They're speaking about an inclusive.
They don't want to upset
feminism.
a few transgender students, to which I say, what about the vast majority of students who are not transgender?
And how are the
Why
ones
are they
that
not
aren't?
allowed to read the word
It's
woman?
speaking about
because it has man in it. It is
can speak over me and not allow me to say
it is
anything.
nuts, and I'm amazed you're defending it.
It isn't nuts, Piers, because when you need to deal with everything that comes with being trans, when an institution such as Goldsmiths sends a message that we are inclusive, and when we're going to speak about feminism or gender issues, we are going to put an X as a sign of solidarity.
So should we use the word woman on Good Morning Britain?
Use what you want, Piers. You're going to anyway.
Should we, though?
Why not?
You just said you agreed with Goldsmith's banning
honestly,
it.
do what you want. You're not the most inclusive programme when it comes to transgender people anyway. No,
why are we not inclusive? You've been a regular guest.
Monroe, I think we discuss transgender issues
more than
on this programme more than any other programme.
You do. You're wonderful.
Well, she agrees with you, right? I challenge you.
Account.
I'm allowed to challenge you.
You can challenge me, but you're
necessarily
very offensive when it comes to a lot of issues.
I'm not offensive. I'm just